Hey everyone, we're live. Can everybody see us? So we're going to be talking to 59 Collective in a second. Hopefully she will join us really soon. Really excited to talk to Muireann because she is fantastic, and it's an incredible business that she has created and set up. So I think you're going to really enjoy this one. And the 59 has joined, so we need to get her to request to join. Will you request to join, Muireann? If you can you see me? Everybody, just bear with us 1 second. Just need Muireann to request to join. Okay, there we go. Muireann, let's hope so. I think it said yes, it was allowing her to, so hopefully... There we go, there she is!
Hi Sarah, how are you?
I love it when the technology works. It always leaves me feeling a little bit like...
Oh, absolutely.
There'll be that one... and I say from the outside, I'm on brand because I am wearing...
Oh, I love it. The Escada jacket, stunning.
Actually wearing, so just to give you some background, Muireann's own business before she set up the 59 Collective is her Muireann B Vintage collection, and this is part of it, which is the most beautiful Escada jacket that I got given for my birthday, and I adore.
Beautiful. It was meant for you, Sarah.
Thank you. Yes, it's a little bit warm probably for now.
A tiny bit. I could just imagine it, but hey, you're totally rocking it. So.
Muireann, you're very welcome to Design Live.
I'm delighted to join you.
This is a series of lives, obviously, that we have been doing across the last few weeks, where we've been talking to some incredible businesses and makers and designers, and obviously today talking to yourself on behalf of the 59 Collective. I have obviously a little bit of an inside track to the 59 Collective, obviously with a connection that we'll perhaps go on to chat about in a second. But for everybody who doesn't know you, because I'm sure a good few people who may or may not have come across this, it is slowly becoming Dublin's less kept secret, but it is definitely gaining traction. So tell us all about 59 Collective.
So my name is Muireann. Hello everyone. And I recently opened up a new store here in the Powerscourt townhouse. And I think a lot of people here are familiar with the Powerscourt townhouse here in Dublin. And we are located on the top floor. And I recently opened a concept store. So half of the store is all vintage designer jewellery and vintage designer clothing. And the other half is a rotating mix of Irish designers and Irish brands. And we also have an artist studio at the very end, which rotates every 4 weeks. And basically we have an artist in residence, and the only requirement for artists coming into this space is that they have to live paint on the weekend. But so it kind of all comes together in a really unique way. But yeah, so it's called the 59 Collective. And a lot of people ask me as well why I called it the 59 Collective. And a lot of people don't realise, but the Powerscourt townhouse is actually located here on 59 South William Street. And if you go through the front doors of the building, there's 59 on the door. So I thought it was just right to kind of tie it back into the store. So
it's a gorgeous setting. I mean, you've been blessed with some beautiful bone structure to work with in terms of how you went about setting it up. But I mean, so tell us about the vibe of the 59 Collective. What were you trying to achieve with it, and what is the vibe? So if I'm a visitor who's never been before, and for the people who haven't been there, how it all came together, and explain the vibe.
Yeah, so basically, if anyone has already been in, the vibe is very unique. So I wanted to create a store that you walk into, that you kind of feel like you're on holidays for a moment, that you can almost forget you're in Dublin. So it's a very peaceful, tranquil setting. So we have some music playing, we even have a water fountain. But I wanted to create a store that you go into certain stores nowadays and it's all about products, and I think a lot of people forget that it's actually a whole shopping experience, and I feel like it's getting less and less and less. So I really wanted to take that back with setting up the store, that I wanted to give the whole shopping experience back, even for myself as a, you know, even though I'm the owner, but I would love as a visitor that I come into a store that I can, yeah, get inspired by, and I see certain pieces that I'm like, gosh, I would love to have that in my home. Or yeah, it's like also the vibe, it's not your ordinary store. It's definitely not boring. It's lots of plants, as you can see around me. And so we really want to take nature as well back into the store, because we have really high ceilings and we have a lot of natural light coming in, and plants are an absolute must, I think, in my opinion, for any home or store, because it just really adds to the experience, I find personally. And so the vibe, yeah, it's a kind of a bit of Marrakesh, a bit of Saint-Tropez, a bit of Spain, a bit of, yeah, there's all these different kind of influences that come into one. So in the store we have a lot of not only modern, but we also have a lot of vintage furniture as well. So for instance, for our countertop, we have this, I didn't want an ordinary counter. You go into a lot of shops and it's just a white counter, and I found an 80s tiki bar, and it goes in perfectly with the store, and it's one of my favorite features in the place. But yeah, that's kind of
It definitely feels, as a visitor, and I've been lucky to visit, it definitely feels when you walk through the door, you feel you don't want to actually leave.
that's so true.
The way that you've laid it out, you're really encouraged to walk through, because you know, obviously there are different artisans and makers and businesses within the store, so it's really very much, it feels like a journey, and you're walking through and you're listening to the music and the sound of the fountain, and you've all the plants and everything else.
Yeah.
The atmosphere it creates, as you say, as a shopper, sometimes a shopping experience can feel very sterile, but I think what this allows it to do, and it's not overwhelming, it's just really calm and lovely. And I watch, you know, I've obviously been a few times now, but I've watched people's reaction to it. I've watched the way they walk through the store. People actually do take their time because they are enjoying the experience of being in the store, and I think if you can do that as a business, that is incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. And even we have people that come into the store and they do say to us, they were like, gosh, I wish my home was like this, or and they would go around and they would take photos of the place, so they get some inspiration for even their home, which is such a compliment. It really is. And yeah, I think as well with giving that, the whole, like, you don't want to seem intimidating as well, because you go into certain stores and they can be quite, you know, you walk in and everything is so well put and everything is, gosh, you wouldn't want to touch anything. But here, I think with the plants and the decor, and like you said, that everything kind of flows into one, and it kind of makes it a really unique, yeah, place, and not so intimidating, I hope.
Kind of almost, you know, you want to explore it, as you say. It doesn't feel like cold and sterile and intimidating. You do kind of, and I mean, how, obviously, you know, your own. I mean, tell us about really your background, at how you came about deciding to kind of do this, because it's a fantastic story for you, of your business and how it's expanded to the 50.
So basically, I started off with, well, before this, I did a lot of fairs, antique fairs, and I did markets with Wendy, and she was really quite into the interiors, and she was kind of an antiques dealer herself. So our house was always mad, and it was always a bit crazy, to say the least. So we'd have, you know, I'd have friends coming in and they were like, gosh, this is not your ordinary Irish home. There would be stuffed animals, there would be plants, there would be lots of vintage and antique, of course, interiors. So I did grow up from it, literally since I was born. So, you know, I never thought I would kind of go into it, but now I don't know, like I wouldn't want to change it for the world, and I constantly learn a lot from her, and we travel a lot and get inspiration from all over the place, all different countries, Ireland included. And yeah, so I kind of started with my vintage clothing. So my vintage clothing brand is Muireann Vintage, and I did pop-ups and events around Ireland for the past 2 years. And I started, I actually, I cold called Powerscourt at the start of January, and I did a wee pop-up here, and it was in a really tiny little shop, and it was about 10 square meter, and we made it into a magical, as small as it was, we made it into just a magic for the 5 days, for a 5-day pop-up. And I met the lovely Mary Larkin of the manager here in the Powerscourt townhouse, and she showed me this space, and she was like, I want magic to happen here, you know? And I was like, I'm never going to get an opportunity like this again in my life. So why not go for it? I've nothing to lose. And yeah, she loves vintage and she loves decor. And I think even she just kind of, with that small pop-up that we've done, she really seen something special that she was like, no, they're going to make magic out of this store. So yeah, I got a whole plan together, and I seen the space. She showed me the space actually just before the pop-up. So this was January. So the whole place was like a empty white box, but an amazing white box that it was like, gosh, you could do so much with the space, and you can, with so many ideas already, from the high ceilings and the length of the store, that. And also so basically half of the store, so a quarter of it is my vintage designer clothing, then you have Wendy's Way of Life, it's all vintage designer jewellery, and then the other end is Irish designers. And the reason why I came up because I wanted to give a space also back to Irish designers and Irish brands, because I also found for myself that there wasn't enough events, or there wasn't enough places to actually sell and to actually make a living.
Yeah,
it's not easy. It really is not easy.
It's
really.
I think this is the key, and I think this is what's so special about it, is that you're giving people an opportunity and a platform to showcase their small Irish design business.
Exactly. And even, you know, you really can get a better location. You're in the city centre of Dublin. I came from in the middle of Monaghan, and now I live in Louth, and now I'm in Dublin. That I would love to just give that opportunity back to designers and in brands, and even, you know, upcoming artists as well, because I know exactly how it feels, as, you know, myself, for setting up my own business for the past, you know, couple of years, that you know, it's not easy. So I wanted to kind of give back, hence why the 59 Collective for other designers.
Tell us about some of the businesses that you've had in the store, that you're lined up. I mean, what are your criteria? What are you looking for? I mean, obviously you've a cross section from, you know, sort of clothing to beauty to kind of homewares. So I mean, what is the process behind the selection for you? Because obviously, you know, I know that you've said to me, you know, you've a good list of people now sort of queuing to take their spot. So what is your criteria to do this?
So I do not only fashion. We have, at the moment, we have skincare, and we have small bit of homeware. So the criteria would be ideally Irish made and Irish designed, really promoting Irish designers. And so basically they do a pop-up of like minimum 4 weeks and maximum 8 weeks. That's kind of how it rotates. And you can come into me, you can just send me an email. So a lot of people that have got in touch have either got in touch on Instagram, or they've sent me an email, or even best yet, they've actually came into the store and they've actually talked to me in person, which is great, to put a face to the name and be able to talk one-on-one. So lots of emails, and I just get back to them, and I provide them whenever a slot available, and we take care of sales, so they don't even have to be here in person. And as you know, we're open 7 days a week, which is great. And
I think, I mean, obviously for the design community that we're talking today, I think one of the most powerful things, obviously, if you're if you're a designer, is looking to find unique Irish art, because very often will be looking for the full package. So that'll be everything from, you know, the design to the art that goes onto the wall. So, I mean, I think the artist in residence opportunities that you have created is an exceptional idea. I think it's an incredible showcase for Irish artists. So what's your selection process for choosing? I would imagine now you're getting a fairly hefty inbox of artists who are all kind of...
I do. I get a lot of I get a lot of messages, and I get quite a few emails from people asking about how the residency works, and I don't, it's literally given back to the community, and when people hear about the opportunity, they are quick to get onto it. But I don't put anyone in a box, so I don't, like, a lot of people would come and I would just be like, show me your work and just show me what you've created. And some people come up to me and they're like, I have a CV this long, and I'm like, don't worry about that, just show me your artwork, and if you're available to come in on the weekend and are you serious about your art, then you're more than welcome to take over the studio. So yeah, it's kind of, I said, the only requirement is to live paint on a Saturday and Sunday, and some artists even can't do that. But it's a great opportunity, because I think even for artists, for even to talk to the customers, and I think if you're buying an expensive piece of artwork, you want to be able to speak to the artist himself. And sometimes you go into art galleries nowadays and it's quite standoffish, and you'd love to know more about the artist and the person behind this beautiful piece of work. And it's something so simple but yet so important. And I thought it's great for the 59 Collective that people can just go into the artist studio over there and speak to the artist and hopefully buy a beautiful piece of Irish art.
And I mean, obviously, I have first-hand experience of how valuable that is, because
Yes.
my darling other half, artist DMD, was your first artist in residence.
That's so true, yeah.
Because I got to know you and your mum Wendy through the markets, because we are customers.
Literally, yeah.
Of clothing and jewelry and home, and obviously beauty.
It's crazy. It's already like 5 or 6 years ago we met at Kilwollery, and it's you're buying vintage pieces off Wendy, and Gavin was just starting his art, and now with this I was able to give the opportunity back. And even when you set up something so brand new, I was so thankful for Gavin being like, yeah, you know what, it's brand new, but I'm totally up for it. And yeah, so I've heard he's had a really great time here at the 59 Collective. So
okay. Say one of the things that was really invaluable for him was to talk to the people who potentially might buy his work, because those conversations were so powerful. And it's actually, it makes it feel a little bit more special if you've had an opportunity to chat to the artist and understand the influence, and why they've gone on to create a piece in the way that they have. And obviously we've been in to see some of the other artists in residence that you have featured, and you've a lovely one at the moment, Joe, and I can't remember, I'm rubbish with names, so tell us about the latest one, because the work is beautiful.
Yeah, so this, at the moment, I have Joy Hawkridge, and she's born in Germany, and she grew up in South Africa and London, and now she's back in Ireland. She is a self-taught artist as well, and her pieces is quite abstract, and she uses a lot of textures, and completely different again from the last artist, which is so cool. So now we've returning customers that come into the space, and they're like, gosh, it's completely different this time. And I'm like, meet Joy, and then now Joy's working on a piece on the weekend as well. So yeah, it's totally different. And she actually came in, so how she got the residency, she actually came into the store like a month back, and she inquired about it, and I spoke to her about it, and it was lovely to actually meet her in person. And yeah, now she's our next artist in residence. So and so far it's going pretty good.
And I mean, some nice heavy hitting can't say that word now, influencers on Instagram who are spreading the word and doing.
Yeah, it takes time. It does take time, even because it's so new as well to Dublin, that it's almost like, and it's so different as well. So a lot of people are like, how am I going to video this, or how am I going to explain it? Because it's a whole concept store. But yeah, it really takes time and patience to build up a store and to get your name out there to everyone.
Yeah. But you're obviously loving it and enjoying the process, although it's a 7-day-a-week business. So I would imagine at the moment you're wondering when...
A little bit tired. I'm ready for a holiday. Yeah.
I think that's the nature of retail, isn't it? That is the 7 days.
Absolutely. But I think as well, like even with everything and the plans and the decor, like I wanted to create a place that even I enjoy working in, and for everyone else as well, that you can come into a store and you genuinely love the interior and you love the decor, that it's almost like a second home as well for you. So that was my main goal as well, was just creating a space. Also, not only did I do it for the customers, but I also did it for myself. And
okay, so I'm going to get you to tell us, how do we find you if we want to apply to be a maker or to be a designer? Or so what's the best with you?
the best way to contact me, either through my Instagram, just send me a direct message, or you can send me an email. So you can contact the59collective.ie@gmail.com, and those will be my two best ways to get in contact with me. Or actually, to be honest, most importantly, if you're ever around in Dublin city centre, just come on in and just talk to me in person.
Even better. I think that's the thing. You would generally have to go in, and if anyone is on this and they haven't been in, I can honestly tell you, well, Powerscourt Townhouse is a gorgeous walk around anyway, and if you go in for a bite to eat, there's fabulous little coffee shops, cafes, and it's worth a mooch. There's some lovely little businesses in there, and if you need to go to the loo, this is the beauty.
It's next door.
Everyone needs to go to the loo. We'll collective.
You know where to find us.
That is the beauty, isn't it? Because people spot you as much as anything else. Somebody who wants to use the bathrooms has to go.
You get people in all different sorts. You really do. Either people that need to go to the toilet, or you have the matcha bar, or you have people that they would look at the signs, or they would see vintage and they would come in and like, oh, I seen the vintage sign, or they would see Wendy's Way of Life sign. They'd be like, gosh, what is Wendy's Way of Life?
And at the moment, obviously, I know you have 1 or 2 pieces of vintage homewares on sale. Is that banned for our design crew who would probably be interested in that? Because I think beautiful one-off vintage pieces, I think clients more and more are looking for that little something. They want their new, want a little something that sets their home apart from somebody else's. So are you going to continue to expand the vintage?
I think so. I think we're going to get a few pieces in, and because I do have the tags, so if you do see some tags around, like at the moment I have this really cool 1950s drinks trolley from Sorrento. It's an Italian one, and I have a price label on it, and people do ask about it. So there is a few things that you might come into the store that you might see a label on that are for sale. But I did get 2 really cool aviator chairs in, and they're 60s inspired, and I was going to be honest, I was going to sell them, and then I put them in the store and I was like, these just look way too cool. There's no way I'm selling them now, because they're so cool. But they're even better in person. I do recommend if you're in, come and see them. But yeah, no, definitely I think I would want to get more kind of vintage interiors in that people can maybe potentially buy.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, it's hard to part with those really special pieces, isn't it, that you get coming through the door?
It is, because they're so unique and they're so like once off that when you do find it, you're like, I'm not going to find another one.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Muireann, thank you so much for taking the time. It was such a pleasure to talk to you and find out about the 59 Collective. And as we said, you can find Muireann B Vintage on Instagram, and Muireann showcases all her beautiful vintage clothing, such as this beautiful jacket modelled by myself. And
there's not another one, so once it's gone, it's gone.
Oh, that is the thing, yeah, because I saw this and my eyes turned to love hearts, and I was thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, and I did kind of glance at the rails and see that it wasn't there, and I was thinking, damn, I should have
go. Yeah.
And then of course I got given it for my birthday, so somebody
someone's keeping an eye. Yeah.
But that's the thing. I think if you see, like you are a lot of one-offs. So if you see it, you have to go for it. I think, isn't that?
Absolutely, and everyone is more than welcome to call in. Even on the weekend, you can meet the artist in person as well on a Saturday and Sunday. And we also give out bubblies on a Saturday and Sunday as well, so all the more reason to call in after the whole shopping experience. So
free glass of bubbles on the Saturday.
If you want a free glass of bubbles, come on in.
Oh my God. Better reason to go into the 59 collection.
Absolutely. No, we have the bubblies in the fountain, and it's keeping them cool. So they're not just for decoration; they are for a little glass. But
serious customers.
Yeah.
And, okay, so Muireann Vintage, to keep up with your vintage clothing, obviously the 59 Instagram page. I know you're super active on there. You're always showcasing all of
trying my best. Yeah.
And some of the new collections of some of the featuring. So, and Debbie Millington, am I saying that right? Debbie Millington has fabulous lampshades and cushions, particularly for anybody who's interested. Dopamine Color Rush, which is so on trend. She has fabulous prints, and her kimonos.
Oh, they're beautiful. They're stunning. They're really, really cool. And we even have at the moment really cool tapas boards that we got commissioned for the store from an artist, and they're very colourful. So either you can use them for tapas nights, or you can even hang them on your wall. They're really cool statement pieces as well. So there is a mix of homewares and of course fashion as well. So
and you have Nympha Studio as well at the moment, don't you?
Nympha Studio as well. Yeah, it's all biophilic moss art. So it's all preserved moss art that she's currently exhibiting in the store.
Fantastic. Well, listen, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for telling us all about your incredible business. I wish you continued and huge success, because I actually think what you're doing is just so amazing. I mean, it's just brilliant to see somebody is supporting Irish small business, because it is so hard to make your name out in the art world and in the design world, and I think it's just an incredible platform, and I really genuinely wish you success, because it's the most beautiful setting, and yeah, continued good success, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me, and it was so lovely chatting to you, and of course everyone is more than welcome to call in at any time. So yeah, it's
bubbles.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a bad excuse to visit town, but listen, thank you so much, Sarah, and we'll chat soon.
I will, yeah, I'll continue just to sign off with the viewers. So thank you so much for joining.
And see you. Bye.
Bye, Muireann. Fantastic. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I can't urge you enough to go in to the 59 Collective. It is the most beautiful space. And Muireann and Wendy have just done an incredible job, and you will just love walking around and looking at all the beautiful things. And you can look back at the Instagram page and you can see some of the businesses and find some of the artists. So artist GMD was the first artist, and then Mimic Studios, and then obviously all of the latest designers and makers you can find on the page there. Just to say, all of the Instagram lives that Design Source have gone live are on YouTube. So they have a YouTube channel now, so you can follow the YouTube and you can watch anything back on the YouTube channel. But it was an absolute pleasure to chat to you all today, and we will talk to you all really, really soon. And don't forget to keep up, and if any of you have watching this back on live, then all the links to the businesses will be in the comments of Instagram, and I will see you all really very soon.